Hello everyone, my name is Lê Văn An. I'm from Faculty of Animal Science, University of Agriculture and Forestry, Huế University in Vietnam. Today I would like to present an overview of dairy production in Vietnam. First on introduction, as you know that dairy production in Vietnam has significant development over the last 3 decades. As you know, a country with 100 million people, Vietnam has a high demand of market for fresh milk production. Despite the industrial growth, the dairy cow production in Vietnam still facing many challenges. The one is the fresh milk produced not meet the demand of the local market. The second is the government have made great effort to support the dairy cow industry production in the plant. And I think this is very important point for the dairy cow production in Vietnam at the moment. And you know that the history of dairy cow in Vietnam before 1980 is seem not developed, mainly state-owned farm. And by the way, we also introduced a lot of the breed for dairy cow and investment as well as technology. Therefore, some of last enterprise developed like Vinamilk, Mộc Châu, and TH and so on. But the smallholder dairy farm also developed. The current dairy farm production located mainly in different regions. The number is 370,000, but mainly concentrated in the central Vietnam with some big dairy cow enterprise. The other is South Center and in the north and North Red River Delta. However, the supply of the fresh milk only occupy 40% of the national demand in fresh milk. Large-scale enterprise, the yield productivity about 20 to 25 liters per cow per day. But in smallholder farm, the yield only from 8 to 15 liters per cow is very small. Therefore, we have made the strategy for dairy production in Vietnam by the year 2030. The advantage for this plant development is we have a big market for dairy product. At the moment, the average of the milk produced about 27 liters per person per year. And the government have a policy, very strong policy to improve livestock production by 2020 and the vision to 2045. Therefore, we have enhanced the collaboration of the domestic and international partner for the dairy cow development. However, the constraint of the dairy cow production is the low milk yield productivity and also lack of the genetic resources adapted to high temperature and humidity in Vietnam. Poor infrastructure of the milk and technical and knowledge of the dairy farming also limit. Those we expect to make the strategy for dairy cow development by enhancing feed production for cow sustainability, and we would like to reduce the rely too much on the concentrate feed by promoting the development of the forest technology at the big scale as well as the small scale dairy cow farming. The second is the improving milk productivity, particularly pay attention in the breeding strategy to improve the genetic of the cow so that the cow could adopt well the hot climate and humidity condition in tropic as in Vietnam. Finally, we would like to say that dairy cow production in Vietnam has a strong growth in the past and recently. However, this production sector still facing with many problems, and therefore we have to make a special effort in both the feed and genetic and service system technology as well to improve the dairy cow production in Vietnam. Thank you very much for your listening.